Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday. I have shaved. I've got a pretty face. It is Breaking Down Security, and I'd like to thank everybody for being here. I'm going to record this as an audio podcast as well because it's been a minute since I put anything up for our audio viewers. I do apologize for that. Between the move, hey Beta Wolf, what's going on? So I'm triple streaming that. I'm not triple. I'm only doubling it this time, but I'm on YouTube and on Twitch for those of you who listen to the podcast. The audio podcast, and I don't know why I'm neglecting y'all because you were here from the beginning. So I'd like to thank y'all, and I'm not. I don't want you to feel like I've left you behind. There are other options available to you. Some things just don't translate well from audio, video to audio, like Rust tutorials and stuff when we're learning programming languages. So just want to let you know, twitch.tv/breaksec. There's also youtube.com/ little letter C as in Charlie / capital B, capital D, capital S, capital P Oddcast. So for those of you who want to check out the YouTube channel, it is https YouTube. I'm typing this in youtube.com CBDS podcast. There you go. And that's our personalized information. And you can find that. That'll be in our show notes. I'm going to try to put this out tonight. So for those of you who only listen to the audio podcast, I've moved to San Diego. So Beta Wolf, who's on with me right now on the stream, I miss you, man. It's not the same being down here without you. So if you ever take a ride down the I-5, you're on one end of the 5, I'm on the other end of the 5. So feel free to come on down and hang out. I want to thank also, before we get started, Grumpy Vader Cat for following us on Twitch. Appreciate everybody who follows and subscribes, uses their Amazon.Prime account or Amazon Prime account to, subscribe to us for free. That's great. Miss you too. It's going to suck not being able to see you, but I'll let you know when I'm down for sure. Yeah, I'm going to be in Vegas from, I think, my flight. The good thing about being closer to Vegas is that it only takes an hour and 20 minutes to go from San Diego to Vegas, plus or minus, the trip to the airport, which, if you do it right, should only be about 90 minutes. So it's about 2 hours to go from my house to the airport, to fly, to get to Vegas, to get to my hotel room. So from the 6th through the 10th, I believe, I will be in Vegas, which is pretty much all of Black Hat, but I will not be attending Black Hat. I would tell you why, but unfortunately, I think we're not advertising the reason why, but I will be at the Luxor. So if you're in Vegas, I will be at the Luxor. Find me. Beta Wolf, it's 2.5 hours just for the flight, almost 3 from Seattle to Vegas. That doesn't include the hour and a half, 2 hours, actually almost 2.5 hours now that it takes to actually get to SeaTac, because for those of you who don't live in Seattle, the traffic just to get to the airport is freaking horrendous. Hypno Toad Stare, you just did. Did what? I see. It took us 40 minutes, I think, just to drive up to the airport in Seattle. It's just horrendous because it's under construction and what have you. I'm going to do something a little different tonight. We're going to do some news. We're going to do a little news. I'm sitting down at my desk, and you've got some protein bars in the back corner here. I am going to an event tonight. San Diego has a somewhat healthy startup community. And so there are regular meetups like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and I believe even Fridays for startups. So I'm going to something called the 2023 San Diego Tech Beer. which is at one of the many local microbreweries that we have in the area. For those of you who understand, Green Flash was born out of San Diego. There's several in the area. So if you're in the San Diego area and you're watching this right now, which for people who are Comic-Con, the funny thing about Comic-Con is with the SAG-AFTRA strike, also, and the Writers Guild strike, I believe the actors will not be attending Comic-Con. So for those people who go to Comic-Con to see the actors and the panels and, all that cool stuff that Hollywood does, I don't know how much there's going to be there. So Comic-Con may actually be for the comics this year. Beta Wolf, which, will kind of, I would say, get back to origins, if you will, for those folks that, oh, very cool. Okay, my friend is speaking out about his own comic. Very cool. I love me some web comics. So, if your friend is in, I don't know who your friend is or what comic he does. I probably don't. I don't want to say I probably don't read it because there's so many web comics out there. It's like there's so many podcasts out there. There's so many Netflix series or streaming series. And there's so many different people who are doing so many different things for comics. It's hard to keep track of. I saw the Pit. One of the web comics I do read had showed the Pit for the Comic-Con stuff, and it's crazy. Apollo City Comics. Oh, well, let's go see that. Yeah, so I'm going to this thing. Oh, wait. VS Code. Let's hide the VS Code stuff. There we go. Yes, it's at something called Deft Brewing. So it's off the 5 and the 8 at Friars Road. So this is about 20 minutes from my house, which is great. The other good thing about living in San Diego so close to the airport is I won't drive to the airport. I'll just get an Uber and have them take me to the airport. Where I lived in Seattle, it was like a 40-minute drive, and that was if there was no traffic. So yeah, we're going to be at Deft Brewing. I'm assuming it's some kind of big-ass parking lot kind of thing, like a warehouse district-y bit. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it looks like there may be plenty of parking, at least in this area. So looking forward to that. I don't know what to expect. From what I gather, I don't know if it's going to... I don't know if it's going to be a bunch of people who are in tech, entrepreneurs and whatever stereotype that is, where they're super outgoing and they're trying to sell me blockchains and Bitcoins and, secure ledgers and shit like that. I don't know. Punk style type anime comics. Oh, okay. Apollo City, huh? Apollo City. No, not scooters for adults. Oy. Alkane the comics. Oh, if it's Kickstarter, I'm a Kickstarter whore. I will do all kinds of stuff for that. So. Oh, okay. Very nice. Okay. Art's interesting. Oh, okay. So, it may be somewhat PG-13ish. I did see a bit of side thigh there, so keep an eye out on that. Max Flowers, okay, so that's pretty cool. August 2023. So yeah, it looks like it got funded. So that's pretty awesome. 153 backers. That's not bad. I kickstart a lot of RPGs. Matter of fact. I was actually going to do a stream, not on the BreakSec one, about this Crown of the Oathbreaker. It's a 900-page RPG supplement. Source book, NPCs, magic items. It's 900 pages. I mean, it is an 1.25 inches long. I was thinking about doing a specific stream for that. They actually had another one that was about 300 or 400 pages. Then you have like the Tolas one, which I think was the first one I ever remember kickstarting from Monty Cook, that had 672 pages plus another 300 pages of extras. I mean, it is a massive tome itself as well. So, so I like me some RPGs. I would love to go to Comic-Con, but I don't think I can afford it because I'm, Well, I could maybe afford it now if everybody's canceling and wanting ticket refunds. There may be a possibility of being able to go. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna see what it's about. They have Wednesday like virtual calls, so some of you who may want to join, they have a Zoom that they do for. Let me see, San Diego Tech. So they do like morning coffees at coffee shops. They have like a Wednesday Zoom thing. They also have normal. There's one in Normal Heights at Lestat. And then they do one in Del Mar Heights, which is just north of me, which would actually be possible to go to. But yeah, so there's roughly 2,000 members in the San Diego Tech Coffee, and they do all kinds of stuff. So I'm looking to get involved and see what it's about, because one of the things that I was doing when I was reading and I was doing a presentation for somebody, and I haven't heard back from them, and I don't know if it's actually going to happen, is startups. If you read blogs about startups, and it's like, oh, the top 10 people you should hire to startup. Every one that I've read for like the blogs for like data points to collect for this, the top 10 to 12 people, none of them are security people. I think I saw one where it was like GRC or compliance person. Which makes sense, and some of us, we think that, well, they're startup, it's first to market, they don't understand the risks that they're gaining on this, and I counter by the fact that they're doing a startup which is super risky. They understand risks. It's just the risks that we believe are risky are things that they are not even in their ballpark right now. It's like. I'm more worried about lopping off my head than I am getting a paper cut in this case. What we in security feel is the lopping off your head part, they still see as like paper cut. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll deal with the security when somebody asks about it. We're going to do what we can to be somewhat secure. And I would say they've gotten smarter in the last few years, where they're actually starting to think about things like data. For them, it's more data management and data sharing and that. So what I'm hoping to come out of that is that I can make some connections. I can make people, hanging out. Security isn't required when you don't even exist. That's true, Beta Wolf. Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's something that they want to do, but it's like, I've got 15 other things. 99 problems and security ain't one, that kind of thing. And it's when they have time. And it's usually after they get version 1 out, right? But they understand risk. I mean, just setting up a startup is super freaking risky. I think it's just, they need a nudge. They need to be able to take the 99 problems and go, okay, now how do you bake security into that? And I may not even be right here, but one of the things I want to do with this networking, one, I'm getting swamp ash just thinking about it, because it's like, even when I ran my own meetup in Seattle, I don't know anybody at this place. This is not even a security meetup. This is a bunch of tech people who probably are working at home like myself because they don't have office space. But I don't know any of these people, and I don't know if they already know one another. So I'm really interested in understanding what that's about. And, if, I've already talked to a friend of mine who works for a gaming company down here, and he was like, oh yeah, I've got some friends who are in startups, we were talking a little bit the other night at a place called Lucadia Pizza, which is actually pretty good. And, we were talking about the security stuff there, and making, I don't think it's a, you can't sit with us kind of thing, Beta Wolf. I think it's more of along the lines of, some of them leave companies where they've had security people that are, maybe they didn't have a good experience with the security people at those organizations. We don't, depending on the people in security, we don't do ourselves a lot of favors sometimes with things. So, when a person has a chance to go off and be their own boss and do their own thing, they want to have security involved, but they just can't afford to have somebody who, like it or hate it, is still something that doesn't give them value. They don't see value in it yet. They have to have something that is going to put them ahead, right? They're going to be able to contribute immediately. And the security people are going to be, in some ways, holding them back or slowing down their pace, whether or not we want to or not. We're going to ask hard questions that's going to make them have to think or slow down or reduce their velocity or cause them to rethink things. And ideally, I think that's where we were trying to go with the whole shift left thing. We should, and for the most part, some developers are very savvy about security. I don't know why my monitor's doing that. I don't know why my monitor's doing that. It's blinking off like every 15 seconds or so. So what I'm gonna do, and hopefully, I should probably click on that and see if my friend is going to be there. Well, he is a colleague or a coworker I used to know back in my Navy days. Let me see. Anyway, so I would suggest, I'm going. It's going to make me super uncomfortable. Was just somebody that you used to know. Maybe it was somebody that I used to know. Yeah. When I was in the Navy, he was commander at my command. Got out of the Navy, super savvy guy, doing a lot of GIS related, geospatial information systems kind of stuff. So I haven't reached out to him yet. I was hoping to maybe catch him at the coffee spot or maybe at the meetup tonight. Say hello and catch up and work with him. He was on the cutting edge of like geospatial intelligence and that kind of stuff back in the day. So yeah, and now he's big into helping startups and working on some of that. So it's a good networking opportunity. So for those of you who came here looking for security stuff, I do have some news. I did find some interesting news. The one I want is a bit of where was the Schadenfreude one? Damn it, where was it? No. Where's the Schadenfreude one? There was a where is it? Somebody out. Oh god, damn it. Did I? Oh, I think I know where I put it. Wait. Nope. It was in Discord. Did I put it on Discord? Nope. There was a news article about where somebody had basically infected themselves with their own malware. Oh, here it is. According to Dark Reading. So, threat actor from 2020 infected his own computer, sold off the contents. This is new. I think there was one that had happened a few months ago or about a year ago. Very similar. But this one came up. So somebody named LA_Citrix gained access to Citrix VPN server, selling them off to the highest bidder. So they said the first clue something was unusual when Rock Hudson's API detected a single user who appeared as an employee for 300 different companies. And it was, he orchestrated all the hacking incidents using his personal computer and browsers installed on that computer, and then stored corporate creds used for the various hacks. So they said upon digging, Hudson's Rock's team was able to ascertain the threat actor's identity along with his address, phone, and evidence of his malicious activities. He may or may not get a phone call from relevant law enforcement agencies. Now, if he lives in Russia, that may never happen. But Interpol or somebody like that, if he ever goes on vacation, may pick him up for hacking a bunch of Citrix instances. Speaking of Citrix, there was some vulnerabilities in Citrix that has happened recently. CISA put out a warning this week. Cold Fusion, which for those of you unaware, Cold Fusion was like super popular back in the day. I'm not sure why they still consider it a popular commercial rapid web application development computing platform. I'm not sure it's that popular. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't see a lot of Cold Fusion where I work. I don't see any Cold Fusion where I work. I think. Yeah. But anyway, so there's where is it? Citrate. Okay, so yeah, the Cold Fusion stuff. Let's go look at the patch here for 29.8 2023. Wait. Search Google. There we go. According to NVD, of course, we got a 503. Wow, NVD's down. Okay. It's access control bypass. So Rapid7 discovered an access control bypass vulnerability affecting Cold Fusion from Adobe. And there's a link to that. Here's also the link to the hacker who infected himself on dark reading. Doink. So I'm putting these links in our chat for those of you listening to the audio podcast. I will add those in the show notes as well coming up. So yeah, so where is it? Right here. Access control feature establishes an allow list of external IP addresses that are permitted to access Cold Fusion admin endpoints on a Cold Fusion web server. When the request originates from an external IP address that is not present in the list, and access to the request is blocked. So somebody's able to get around that apparently. So this vulnerability undermines security guarantees offered by the secure profile. Note that access to these resources does not imply the attacker is authorized to use these. It just that, he's either impersonating or there's some kind of directory transversal or something that is allowing them to gain access to the area inside the administrator path, which is CFIDE. Goodness. Okay. I apologize if you can hear that in the background. Attacker can brute force credentials, leak sensitive information, or log in as CF admin if they have known credentials. So, so Adobe, who also owned Flash and Cold Fusion, that's those are good things. So an analysis restricts access. Yeah. Okay. CFM Servlet, which handles all requests to Cold Fusion module endpoints, which handles the request to Cold Fusion markup language and component endpoints. And this handles, so RDS Globals handles requests for remote development feature, or remote development service feature. Okay. Okay. So access control filters implemented in coldfusion.filter.ip filter utils. Okay, so it looks like there's some IOCs in this, which is actually a pretty good write-up according to Rapid7. So it would make sense since, the original, original blog post was talking about that. Oh, no, I already put it in the list. Let me see, Adobe. Yeah, recorded media here. Drink. There we go. All right. As the attacker controlled URL path is tested with a call to Java lang string starts with, this access check can be bypassed by inserting an additional character at the start of the URL path. Which will cause the starts with check to fail, but will still allow the underlying servlet to be able to resolve the requested resource. Wow. Okay, so in this case, I guess it's java.lang.string. And then you put a space in front of starts with. Character in question is an additional /. Okay, so you go // CFIDE /admin API instead of /CFID. Oh, wow. It's a little thing, but it matters a lot. And this is not the first time we've seen something like that. So that's an interesting bypass. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, 2 slashes instead of, yeah. Because it's not a backslash, so you're not escaping it. It's just like there's an empty directory there, or it will parse it out maybe so that it automatically bypasses the access control. That's crazy. So okay, yeah, go through that read up, especially if a Cold Fusion. You're still one of the 5 shops still using Cold Fusion out there. So this was tested on 2021 update 6, which is version 330132. Running on Windows Server 2022. All right. So yeah, that's a good write-up. Who's a write-up from on Rapid 7? Let's go look. Good job, Stephen Fewer. Hopefully you didn't ghostwrite that, and this was your legitimate work. So good job, Stephen Fewer, on the write-up. So that's a nice 7-minute read on the bypass there. This is one of those things where it's, again, Cold Fusion is one of those things you don't update quickly. This is going to be something that people are like, well, it's going to take us a couple of weeks to, update our systems or what have you. Maybe you just add it to your list of, testing that you're doing on your environment when you're doing testing from a, red team perspective or something, because these are the kinds of little mistakes in a web app that will allow you to bypass access controls. So it's pretty awesome to see that. So, all right. So I'm not going to bag on anybody for this blog post. So it says millions of keyboard walk patterns found in compromised passwords. And so keyboard walking, QWERTY for the US is QWERTY, QWERTY. So, you're just sliding your finger down the keyboard, or you go tap, 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 tap. That's why 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was such a, good password or a bad password, depending on who you're talking to, for years, because, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In other countries that don't have a QWERTY keyboard, you have a ZERTY, AZERTY, which is very similar, or QWERTZ, QWERTZ, because the Z is up on the top row in Germany and Central European countries. So the reason I'm not going to bag on people that use keyboard walking, it ain't easy to remember. It ain't a good password. I prefer the 6 makes it strong. No, see, a strong password there, Beta Wolf, would be PASSWORD 1, 2, 3. That right there, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 6. Because who would reverse those numbers, right? It's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That reversing it would just completely screw things up. For those listeners or viewers that think I'm serious, I'm not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is not a good password, or 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 6 is still not a very good password. I'm just being completely facetious there. But it's the one that I have in my luggage, so it is that way. So I do keyboard walk for. Okay, so that I have like 150 logins in my password locker. Actually, I would pull it up right now, but I'm afraid that I might accidentally share my password locker screen. Okay, it's locked now. So when I'm signing up for a new account, and I'll say this, for the other day, I signed up for USAA, and they needed a password like immediately, and I was like, oh, okay, what am I? Okay, I don't want to have to try to figure that out. I know your browser will automatically suggest a password for you, and your 1Password does that. But sometimes it's like, I need to get back into that immediately. So I will have a keyboard walk that I use. None of them in this list, though, thankfully. But I have a keyboard walk that I use to get me through, and actually, nope, I'm not going to go that far. I will tell you, I use a keyboard walk for other things in my house, but yeah, not. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my monitor here. Jiggle cables, make sure that they don't go away. I'm not sure why my Dell monitor's being all janky like that, but sometimes you use keyboard walks for passwords that don't matter much to you. Like if I log into a forum, Stack Overflow or something, and I don't give two shits about, I'm going to use an easy password, right? I've got passwords to, I don't know, I think a web development forum. I'm pretty sure that if I have visited that site like twice in 10 years and I don't remember what my password is, I can go to a keyboard walk that I used maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago and be like, okay, that's it. It's like I'm not going to use a 500 character password, upper lower number special, ASCII, emojis, all this shit for a forum site. Yeah, you know what? You're going to catch some of my posts and stuff, but I'm not going to put my real information in there. You may have my time zone, which anybody can find. Oh, I live in San Diego, so Pacific time zone. I'm not going to put my firstborn's, name in there, my dog's name. I'm not going to fill out all of the PHBBB stuff that, that is suggested by registering an account there. I understand the risks involved. It's like, there's, somebody could impersonate me or something on the forums. If I got to be an important contributor into that forum, it may require me to do that. But yeah, there's just some sites I don't give a shit about, and I will just use a throwaway password. Sometimes I put in like 15 different, sometimes I'll just put in random strings because it's like, I don't want to remember it. Or if I come in there once every 10 years, I'll just do password recovery workflow and just get my password back. There's a couple sites that I know that I've just put in gibberish and I don't even remember what the password is. It just depends on how I feel that day. It's not the best, and I've lost a viewer because, they don't agree with my password requirements or whatever. But, so yeah, they've, this company called SpecOps, analyzed 800 million passwords from the largest breached password protection database. I don't know where the hell they got that from, but they said, has 3 billion breached passwords in it. So, pretty much all of the Asia Pacific region in that case, breached passwords, unless it's like 150 passwords from one person or something like that. So QWERTY was the most common in America and across many European countries with slight modifications. So slight modifications, so like capital Q, W-E-R-T-Y, or Q-W-E, capital E-R-T-Y, or something like that. Azerty and QWERTZ. QWERTY was used more than 1 million times, followed by QWERT, WRTY, and ASDFG, so the home row characters. They also saw the third row characters, XCVBNM, as well on there. And Tress? What's Tress? TRESS. That doesn't... I wouldn't... I don't understand the Tress keyboard walk, though. That's interesting. XCVBN, of course, that one makes sense because you just, you like roll your fingers across. So, XCVBN, boop, boop, that kind of thing. So yeah, SpecOps suggests tools that scan for compromised passwords within an organization. I'm sure SpecOps creates a product for that. So, if you're interested, go and check out the SpecOps folks on that. But yeah, so that's interesting. I think it just goes to human nature where you're going to have, you've got 104 characters on a keyboard and you're going to use, you're just going to like roll your fingers over and, you're going to use what you want. Now I do set up 2-factor wherever I can. My 2-factor vault on my phone is starting to look fairly big and thick now these days. I do have a handful of work items on there, but yeah, a vast majority of them are 2-factor. So, kind of interesting how that comes up, but it's good to see more sites using that and utilizing that. I'd have still more that just use SMS 2FA. There's nothing around that. Or, I try to use email 2FA whenever possible as well, because my email has a fairly complex password and 2FA on it. So, if you have the option, don't use the SMS stuff. If it gives you the option of SMS or email, your email is probably more secure than your SMS if you feel that way. So try to use the email where they'll send you a link that you can immediately click and it'll invalidate that, and you can get into your account that way. All right, so so this one was interesting. I hadn't had a chance to dig deeper into this one. somebody had posted up on Twitter, and I saw the article. Shmuley Evers, his flight was canceled at JFK, John F. Kennedy Airport in New York. It was canceled, and he Googled the customer support number and got a number, which if I Google something and I find a number, I should, yeah, I don't want to say I trust it, but I mean, I'm like, Google should have the right answer, right? It's not like I'm just asking some random AI somewhere if the sky's blue and it's telling me the sky's purple. If I'm Googling a number, it should be the correct number, right? Well, in this case, Shmuley got a phone number off of Google for the JFK Delta office, and it was the wrong number. It was actually a scammer number. He said he Googled the customer support number for Delta's office after nearly handing over his credit card number. Okay, that is kind of annoying. He said to buy a new flight, he realized he was speaking to a scammer who had replaced the number for Delta's JFK office on Google with another one. My question is, how did Google...
Sorry, I don't have any information about that.
I have a Google Home Mini, so that's... I'm using a lot of the term Google, so that's... oops. So I'm going to go and see if the person... Let me see. Number was, called this number. Do not call this number if you're watching the stream. This is bad number. After a minute, the line broke up. They called me back from the number .33, plus 33. So plus 33, international code. Plus 33 international code is France. Okay, so okay. First, red flag. He had a very strong Indian accent, red flag, and was overly eager to help me. Okay, maybe. By providing him with my confirmation number and name, he was able to look up my trip information on Delta, which you can do from delta.com. He found an alternative flight from Newark, leaving later in the evening, but he needed me to confirm. Texted me a screenshot of the flight details from Newark and asked me to confirm via SMS. Okay, to the number 845-284-1309. So that is obviously potentially a scammer number as well. 845 zip code number, 845 zip code. 845 zip code. Or area code, not area code. New City, Poughkeepsie, and Spring Valley. Okay, so that's the area code for west, looks like northwest of New York City proper. North of New Jersey, west of Connecticut. So yeah, it's up in New York, but it's like where where you go to the Poconos or the Catskill Mountain area kind of thing. Could be a Google voice number or something like that to make it seem more legit, like you're in the States or something. So my question is, how did the number get changed on Google? And if it's like, oh, you can report some bad information, and if you report it enough times, Google sees it as truth. That's an interesting attack, right? You could change anybody's phone number or address or anything. Like if you were trying to target somebody who goes to a specific restaurant, you could say, well, this is the phone number for that restaurant, or any business, right? You could change. All you would need is to change it once and then have some fake accounts or have some bots that would automatically go in. And if Google said, hey, is this the correct information? You have 100 bots that go in and go, yes, 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 yes. Google has no way of knowing that, and if they're able to automate that process and create that fake trust, you can cause all kinds of issues. So great advice for corporations to monitor their Google pages. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Ring Zed, how you doing? Yeah, your Google pages, if anything has changed, you can do something like an IFTTT if you've noticed any kind of change to your pages like that. Page monitoring. There's companies out there that obviously do that. They keep track of, online reputation or what have you. So Evers checked several airline support numbers for offices at JFK, quickly discovering errors on Google Maps pages for Delta, American, Southwest, Air France, Qantas, ITA Airways, and Turkish Airways. It's unclear how scammers altered the search results for those numbers. A company spokesperson told Recorded Future they do not tolerate this Yes, company spokesperson says we do not tolerate misleading activity. I'm just, that is a dumb quote. I guess they have to say it. That's just what they say, I guess. So let me go see. Let's go McDonald's. Let's go look up McDonald's. I was gonna, okay, so McDonald's phone number. All right, so here's a phone number for McDonald's in North San Diego on Mira Mesa. Here's a phone number. You can suggest an edit on Google's site. I can suggest an edit. Name change or other details. Okay, so I can suggest a phone number change to anything on Google's site. Do I want, see, this is why I can't be a hacker. I tried, I can't. The hacker in me wants to change this phone number on the contact sheet, or to change the location to say, Cloud Cuckoo Land, or, to change the address to something else. The bad guy, who I'm sure is, the little dude in red pajamas on my shoulders, like, yeah, go ahead and change it. I can't do it. I can't change this number, but it looks like it's fairly easy to change the number. And if you had enough bots or enough people who would suggest an edit, quote unquote, with the same information, the first one you see, you're gonna, somebody looking at it at Google, or the bot looking at it at Google is gonna be like, oh, okay, well, one person changed the information. I don't trust that yet. But you're gonna get another bot coming in that got the same information, or you've got 1,500 bots coming in going, no, that's not the right phone number. 619-000-0001 is the right answer. So eventually Google's bots is going to be like, well, I've got 1,500 pieces of information saying that that's the new phone number. I'm going to change it. I've corrected store hours a few times. I've had to submit a photo and received an email a few days saying whether or not it was accepted. Oh, well, that's a good idea, Ring Zed. Yeah, I think I've seen something like that. I may have done that with like something up in Seattle where, and I don't believe I supplied a picture at that time, but yeah, I don't know how you would do it for a phone number, but I don't want to say it seems like that's, and that would make sense. Like if you had a picture of the storefront and it had we're open, and closed at these times, that would make sense. But yeah, so if it's, I don't want to say if it's this easy, but if it is, if you can change the phone number and then automate this somehow where you're automatically sending this over and over and over again from, bot 001, bot 002, bot 003, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Eventually, I'm thinking Google's going to get won over by that in the algorithm. And you could potentially change any of this information. So, I mean, it may have been just that simple. Maybe somebody dropped the ball, Yeah. I wonder how many people have been scammed by that at JFK, where they actually, called up using the Google number from Google Maps, right? So, it says, according to Google, this incident is part of a wider effort by scammers to change the contact information for airlines' local business listings. Yeah, because if you're, how many people are going to double check the phone number when they get it from google.com when they're trying to book a new flight out because, now they're panicked, they're under stress. I just want to get home. I'm going to use the first number that comes to me, right? And that's exactly how they did it. Google says it's tried to remove incorrect content as fast as possible, while also suspending suspicious accounts and suing those found to be behind the scams. Company filed a lawsuit last month against a scammer who was posting fake reviews on Google Maps and attempting to manipulate other Google services for small businesses. So it is possible for them to manipulate those. Obviously, this person got sued by Google for attempting to put out fake data. They've launched other lawsuits and disruption efforts against scammers attempting to abuse tools for customers. So yeah, it sounds like that Shlomi found something that Google hadn't caught yet or hadn't been told about yet. So that's kind of interesting. Efforts have stopped 20 million attempts to create fake business profiles. Also put into place protections for 185,000 businesses after detecting suspicious activity and abuse attempts. Okay. Oh, so Ring Z, there you go. Google urged businesses to check pages to verify their information is factual and to report anything inaccurate. So yeah, I mean, there's ways you can do that. You can, I believe you can probably set up the cheapest way would be to use some kind of wget where, you know, it would pull down your web page or pull down your information and compare that against some kind of value like, you know, is known good. If there's been any change to the page or, you know, the checksum on the page has changed, then you would know that has changed. That is a way to do it. But there's also companies that will monitor that stuff along with your online reputation and those items. And also they're changing it on Google. There's other sites like Yelp or, other sites like rating sites or something that may also be able to change that information. And depending on where they're pulling that information from, you could have that propagate across other sites like that. So Evers replies to Evers tweets are full of people sharing they were similarly scammed after using the numbers. Okay, so this has happened. This is a thing. Google's lack of explanation left many theorizing what the root cause was. As seen in past lawsuits, Google struggled with problematic activity on the business pages as well as in its ads. Scammers have used Google ads to get illegitimate websites to appear in search results before legitimate ones. Rachel Toback, our good friend from doing social engineering on 60 Minutes, is back talking about scammers aim to ensure bogus phone numbers appear in Google search results. So, this is simple, social engineering tricks. I mean, if you can do it enough, and it's kind of awful. Yeah, nice. Delta should have no excuse not to monitor it. Yeah, I mean, maybe again, that was one of those things. It's like I've got 15 other things, as a company to deal with. Now I've got to remember, I have to fix, I have to monitor my Yelp phone number, and I have to monitor the information on my Google, listing to make sure that it's correct. So some companies are probably getting some new customers to monitor their Google output there. So maybe Google could put some kind of thing in where it would lock those for companies, and then you have to prove, like a domain registrar or something. I am the legitimate owner of this business, and I'm not going to change this, or kind of like a domain registrar kind of thing. It's the Cold Fusion stuff. Microsoft Office vulnerabilities. We didn't talk about those. Velexity. Is there anything bad coming from these? Let's see. Active exploitation. They're 2023 36884. So let me go see what's that about. I'm sure we're going to get some real good information from MSRC here. Remote code exec on Windows and Office products. Okay, so attackers specifically crafted Office doc that enables them to perform RCE on the victim. However, an attacker would have to convince the victim to open the malicious file. Okay, that's not hard through phishing. Here's my resume. Double click on it. Done. That's not too hard. Or hi, I'm the CEO. Please see my resignation letter or something like that. Somebody double clicks on it, and they've got the shell back to the attacker at that point. Okay, so that's somehow the Office is not able to parse out what that ugliness was. Add that. Don't know if I added the recorded media. That one there. There we go. Okay, so you can go read that one further if you'd like. Let's see. It's 4 o'clock. That one foiled. Okay, so Dark Reading has an article about Linux ransomware poses significant threat to critical infrastructure. Organizations running Linux distros need to prepare to defend their systems against ransomware attacks. They don't need to prepare to defend. They need to defend. If you haven't already begun to prepare to defend against ransomware attacks, you're probably behind the 8 ball. Steps to assure resiliency in basics such as access control reduce major disruptions. Right, and that's you're always going to have issues like that. Critical operations, critical infrastructure runs on ransomware, or not ransomware, runs on Linux. You've got, small IoT devices that run an RTOS, a real-time operating system. They run embedded IoT systems. Your IoT devices will run some kind of bastardized form of Linux, like a free RTOS or something like that, a VxWorks, if you will. This is not anything we haven't talked about before. If you're a regular listener or stream watcher, there's, you have Lockbit, you have Conti, you have Revil, you have Hive. We've talked about Revil and Conti, and definitely other groups that are, threat actors that are using and focusing more on Linux are Black Basta, Icefire, Hello Kitty, Black Matter, and Avoslocker are adding Linux capabilities. Maybe that means that they found enough stuff out there that hasn't been poked at, and they're creating operations with the idea that they're going to start targeting those systems. One of the joys of living near Miramar Marine Corps Air Station is the F-35s. This is with the windows shut, by the way. So, why the focus on Linux servers? Attackers are increasing their attention on Linux for a few reasons, namely, disrupting Linux servers holds the potential to inflict a lot of pain, and attackers know more pain translates to more dollars in their pockets from higher ransom demands. Always on, always available nature of Linux systems paints a huge target for threat actors. Linux is also highly customizable. It's 2023. Why are we talking about this kind of stuff inside this article? This means threat actors considerable level of control over the network once they've achieved persistence and access to Linux terminal, providing them with a host of powerful network tools to further their ingress in the network. So this was written by CEO. Yeah, okay. So CEO and co-founder. I don't know if John Miller actually wrote this or a ghost wrote. One of his people wrote it and he put his name on it. I don't know if that's the case or not. But get an EDR or an XDR. Patch management's always important. Try to use an up-to-date version of a Linux, like an LTS version, which is going to get like an Ubuntu LTS. Backups are still important. Access controls, yes. This is all basic hygiene stuff that you need to look at doing. So there's not a lot to go on here that we haven't already talked about in the last 20 years. If you are looking for an endpoint security solution, or not an endpoint security solution, but like an XDR with your logging and your SIM, we are sponsored by one called Blumera. I am needing to get our interview happening for our second interview coming up soon. So I need to reach out to them and make sure that we can get them done. Just for my own edification. Let me see here. Today's episode of Breaking Security Podcast is brought to you by Blumera, which provides easy-to-use SIM and XDR that can be set up in minutes. Teams of all sizes can resolve security threats faster with detection rules written by our own Miss Berlin, Amanda Berlin. And you can find out more information at bluemira.com/break. And if you're watching the stream right now, you're not seeing the icon, but the blue hedgehog they have is a pretty nice mascot that they have. And I think Miss Berlin and some of her team will definitely be at Black Hat and DEF CON this year. So I'm hoping to see Miss Berlin. It's been 2+ years, I think. I think the last time we saw one another was DerbyCon, I think in 2019 before the COVIDs happened. So it's kind of cool. Beta Wolf says, I just sent off my HTPC with a computer repair guy because I'm at wit's end with the BSODs. I had the same problem with my NUC. When I accidentally sold it to, Walt, I told him, I was like, I had issues with it, and I changed the CMOS battery, and, it's like my Raspberry Pis that I've had. I've had them, I used them for a Pi-hole server, and then it's like, all of a sudden I realized it failed and died and didn't tell me it did anything, I've just had really not a good experience with the smaller form factor machines and things. So I don't know if that's by design, probably not. It's not like I'm trying to do, high levels of computing with them. I just tried to run a Pi-hole or a, local server that I could, SSH to. It wasn't, I was trying to run high performant things. So, I'm HTPCs. I used to have one of the, when I was younger and dumber, I wanted a shuttle PC. Yeah. Very, you're, little small form factor things are great. I love the Mac Mini. I'm not a huge fan of Macs, but the Mac Mini that I had was really great. Really nice little toaster sized kind of thing. And it was solid and it ran Linux. So that was the other plus. Let me see. I wanted a shuttle PC, which, what the hell? Okay, I do not know why. There we go. These were like the height of awesome for me back in the day. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, something similar to this, where it had a 3.5 slot, a 5.5, a 5.25 slot. Yeah, these were like what I wanted when I was a young punk in the Navy, where it's like this little, it was like a bread box kind of thing. Yeah, I got one secondhand, and it was pretty awesome. It was noisy though. Yeah, it wasn't black; it was silver like this one here. So, yeah, had a CD burner in it and everything. So for you young people, we used to burn CDs, not even DVDs, on and I think I had a zip drive on it, a zip 250 as a matter of fact. So, but yeah, shuttle was pretty awesome. I think they probably still have them. They just so current models, so they still have shuttle PCs out there. These were the form factors before NUC, before Mac Minis and those things. Surprisingly small, and they were a little warm. I think they ran a little warm. So, but yeah, those were like when I had one of those, I knew I had made it. I was like awesome. So now it's like the Think Centers are probably the more solid things that I've had now. So you might have saw these when you're Think Centers. Yeah, these are actually no. Here we go. These the Think Centers. They're about 6-7 inches square, about 1 or 2 inches tall. They're not fancy. Most of the time I see them used as point of sale terminals. I think I saw one at the mattress shop we were at. They got USB 3 on them. They take like 35 watts of power, which isn't bad. It'll definitely run a Kubernetes or a Docker cluster if you wanted to do that. You can run file servers off of it. It's not bad. And they're super cheap. If you buy them used on Amazon, they're like $100. And, you wipe the drive and have at it. But yeah, it's, there's definitely different ways of doing what you want. If you want to do a home lab, you don't have to have, big tall server. to make that a thing. So I'm gonna close that because that was my personal email because I'm an idiot. So let me see. Bogus Airlines, security updates. That's MSRC. Tabletop exercises as risk mitigation tools. This is kind of some of the stuff I want to, when I'm networking with startups, I want to, see if there's ways that they could use me in a consulting kind of format. Ultimately, what I'd love to do is to build up a cadre of, a dozen to half a dozen to a dozen startups here that reach out asking questions about, security or something like that. And, maybe I can actually get back into doing some consultation for that. Maybe not get paid for it, but maybe it'd be like a tit for tat where it's, I don't know what that looks like, but Lady P. Oh, Lady P's here. Oh, you're gonna have to shape up now, Beta Wolf. You're gonna have to start behaving. Lady P's here. She's subscribed with her Prime Gaming, as is a good moderator does. Subscribe for 13. Mods in the house. No, Beta Wolf's been good. Beta Wolf's been keeping me company here, along with Ring Zed and a couple of other folks. So, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this tonight and seeing what's going on. Lady P, I hope you're doing okay. It's only about 115 up in Sacktown right now, up in the NorCal area. Let me see, what is it? Weather. NorCal. Yeah, you got excessive heat warnings up in the Northern California area. Weird. Yeah. Ew, that's ugly. That's real ugly. Yeah, that's Inland Valley, and that's not Inland Valley. That's up near Vegas and that area. So yeah, it's not fun if you're living up out more than 80 miles. More than was down here in the San Diego area. Anything east of the 15, it's like in the mid 90s right now. So there's definite, like in Del Mar, they say, oh, it's in the upper 60s or something. By the time you get here to the the Rancho Santa Fe and this area, central San Diego, it's like in the mid 80s, and then by the time you get out west in Poway and that area, it's low 90s, almost 100s. And then Ocotillo Wells and Borrego Springs out here in the desert, it's like 115, 116. So it's really nasty. 102. Oof. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, that's not good at all. Well, at least you got air conditioning. That's the important thing. I just got an email today telling from our solar folks saying, hey, we'll have your solar installed once the permitting is done. So the fact that they reached out to me is probably a good thing. Maybe we'll start seeing some fixes in the that'll happen in the next couple weeks. So it was 116 on Saturday. Was that in the shade or in the sun? Ugh. Yeah, I can't imagine 117 heat. I saw some. I call him Florida man, but it was, people traveling to Death Valley to enjoy 130-degree weather. And I couldn't figure out why. I love heat like the next person, but 130 degrees is a whole nother level. I think maybe that's an experience kind of thing. Like, hey, I've done it once, I'm going to not do it again, but I'd hate to get stuck out there in the middle of the desert in Death Valley, California, in 130 degree, or was it like 65 C weather? Yeah, that's ugly heat. That's killer heat. That would be Death Valley heat, maybe. So yeah. Let me see what else. I think everybody is aware that using tabletops, not just for incident response, but like for, getting people involved in the process of building products, or, thinking about, ways to reduce risk, or what kind of things will we invite by building this widget, is probably always a good thing. Let's go ahead and grab that and post it up. Whoa. I'm a redhead. My cancer would be getting cancer. Woof. That's true. Yeah. I mean, 116 degrees in the shade or 120 in the sun. Our San Diego weather people actually make the delineations. They say, oh, if you're, Nocatilo Wells, you'll be seeing the 112, 113, 114 range. And I was like, at that temperature, you won't care if it's 112 or 114. You won't really notice a difference, right? You will notice when it goes from like 112 to 102. You'd be like, oh, yeah, it does feel a little normal. I use tabletops to eat on. Well, that's good, Beta Wolf. At least you're civilized enough to enjoy a tabletop. Um, um, yeah. Adds additional benefit identifying weaknesses in cyber preparedness. Yeah, I think these are not a one and done thing. Anytime you do a tabletop, you should take what you've learned, or if there's work that's going to have to be done, you have to put those into some kind of ticket system or wherever it is that your team is managing your work, so that you can collect that information and make sure that it gets done right. You may find a legitimate problem that comes up from tabletops that will need to be addressed. And the sooner you're doing your tabletops, again, as we go earlier in your life cycle for product development, I don't want to call it shifting left, but the sooner you collect that information and can bubble it up to the right people to get it addressed, so that you're not dealing with it later on, is important. One of the things that I found is if you engage a bug bounty program at 80 degrees, I was wearing a floppy hat. At 100, I just wrap myself in jute and crawl under the bed. Yeah. It's like 80, 82 here in my house here in North San Diego, and I'm out taking a walk, and it's not awful. I mean, the sun is very direct, which is something I didn't get in Seattle. It was less direct actually in Seattle, or felt less direct. But yeah, I've got a little sun. Got my little farmer's tan going on. But yeah, when we lived here in San Diego, we actually lived further east, near Poway and those areas, and you can definitely tell the temperature change, right? Huge differences in temperature swing depending on where the ocean was or where it wasn't. Yeah. So let me see. Friday, for those of you who are learning Rust with me, I'm actually thinking about a book called Game Development with Rust. The problem I have with the book is they say Rust and WebAssembly, and then when you scroll down here, you're like, where is it? Oh, and Node.js, and Webpack. So there's going to be... The idea is with the book, and as I was reading through on some of these, they say how to run Rust on the web while building an endless runner. So is it with Bevy? If it's not with Bevy, it's not worth it. What is Bevy there, Beta Wolf? I have no idea what Bevy is. Let's see. Bevy game dev. Bevy Engine, a refreshingly simple, data-driven game engine built in Rust, free and open source forever. All engine and game logic uses Bevy ECS, a custom entity component system, fast, simple, and capable. Yeah, okay. Those three things sound like that they're mutually exclusive in a lot of security products, so I'm not exactly sure how it works in a game engine. 2D renderer, real-time, 2D graphics for games and apps. It does a 3D rendering as well for modern and flexible. Render graph, compose custom render pipelines using a graph structure, parallel and modular. It's cross-platform, so Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Web iOS, and Android's on the way, which is ironic because usually Android's the first thing of the mobile platforms that they support. They did iOS first. Custom ECS-driven UI framework built specifically for Bevy. create, save, and load ECS worlds using Bevy's scene system and sound. You can do sounds as assets. Okay. Oh, there's the Bevy book. Okay, so everybody has a book. So there's a Bevy book. Bevy is a group of birds. Okay. I thought that was a covey. Covey? It's a covey of quail in it. Covey is a party or small flock of birds. And then, of course, you have Stephen Covey, who wrote a book, the book, if you're 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But a covey is a group of birds as well. A Bevy book. Stability warning. Bevy is still in the early stages of development. Important features are missing. Documentation is sparse. Well, that really sells it there, Beta Wolf. I'm not... yeah. If you're trying to pick an engine for your next big project, trademark, we recommend you check out Godot engine. It is currently much more feature complete and stable. So even the Bevy folks say don't use Bevy, use Godot, Beta Wolf. So I would love to understand your thought process there about, you know, which one we should use. So here's good. Oh, they even have a con. So, you know, it's Godot engine. They have Godot Con in Germany. Ah. Oh, Munich. Hey, you know what? Nothing wrong with that. Use the right language for the job. Make crisp and performant 2D engine games with Godot's dedicated 2D rendering engine. Simple and powerful 3D. Very cool. So yeah, we'll poke around. I actually was thinking about it mentions a runner type of thing. So runner would be like Flappy Birds or whatever, you know, Flappy Birds being one of those games that just goes on forever until you lose, right? Yeah, play Flappy Birds. So I'm surprised that. Oh wait, oh, there it goes. Oh, look, you use the space bar to. Oh. So for those of you on the audio podcast, what you didn't see is me not being able to even make it through the first set of pipes on Flappy Birds. I have a score of 0, and, well, I matched my best score, so, you know. It's very touchy, this thing. Oh, okay, so I'm still at 0. Still at 0. Oh, I got 2. I got 2. Boy, I really suck at this game. Oh, I suck. I am not good at this game. Maybe y'all could enjoy the Schadenfreude of me playing Flappy. But Jesus, this thing is not easy. This is. No, I haven't been sucked into Flappy Birds. This is god awful. See, I don't play games anymore. Flappy Bird sucks. I can't. Obviously I got through 2 and I'm done. So, so let me see. Breaking changes in the API. Released approximately every 3 months. This is the Bevy. I'm back to Bevy for those of you watching the audio stuff. Bevy engine. We provide migration guides, but we can't guarantee migrations will always be easy. Use only if you're willing to work in this environment. Okay, so you have a house with 3 walls and no windows, but it is a house, and you have to build the windows yourself, and the roof leaks, but we're working on that. I interest you in a game of tic-tac-toe. I'm pretty good with tic-tac-toe. I could play, what is it? What was it called? No, I keep getting Slash 3D, but it's not that. It's was it Death's Head Weapons? No, not SSG. It was. It's the one with the tanks. Tank. Scorched Earth. Scorched Earth. I could play that game all damn day. That is a game that I could play all freaking day. No, that's not it. Scorched Earth, the game. I hate this. There it is. Scorched Earth Online. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's it. Yes. Napalm was my favorite on Scorched Earth. Mother of all games. Yep. Yep. Yes, 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 yes. Dee, 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 dee. Yeah, Scorched Earth. What I love is retrogames.com has like you can play the game inside of a DOS box, inside of a browser, inside of a No, it wasn't my boomer self. It was my lack of trying to remember names of games and stuff. But yeah, you know, this one was always fun. So, oh man. My mouse it doesn't like my mouse. There we go. Initializing code. Yeah, Bob. There we go. Okay. Yeah, see, I've got two mice. One of them inside the DOS box, which will move only when I move, and then the other one is Rat. Call him Rat, and he is a computer, and he's a moron. So you know, I don't need 10. Oh my god. Done. Yeah, and then you pick all your. Anyway, I'm not gonna play it. But oh man, that brings back memories. They had a 3D scorched version as well. So yeah, archive.org is good for retro games as well. One of the games I actually found the other day because I was playing it on my, what was it? It was like my 350 megahertz Pentium. It was called Xenobots. And it was actually, God's bless. Xenobots was an interesting game. It was like a resource collection or whatever. And it was like you could only expand by putting out these sensors that did like game energy transfer. Yeah, here we go. You had 3 different kinds of bots. You had a scorpion. You had like a humanoid bot and some kind of chicken bot, and it's kind of funny. Yeah, that was actually quite fun. Once you got good at it, you could figure out that you could like walk backwards and like fire extremely long range with like your crab bot or your lobster bot. And Sanction Earth. Interesting. I didn't know they had updates for this. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go because it's got about 90 minutes to prepare and get ready and calm down because. Like I said, Lady P, you didn't find out. I'm going to a networking event in San Diego here. So, yeah, Ultrabots was fun. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, you could like fight from extreme range with some of these things. Like the yellow bot, the scout bot had these little point things you could shoot from long ways off beyond the range of things because it had like an infinite range. So you could just shoot forever as long as you were lined up with the target. It was almost like cheating at some points. Yeah, thanks, RingZed. Appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much. We will be doing some Rust on Friday, and yeah, I don't know if anybody's online. Let's go see if anybody important is twitching today. I like to share the fun, share the good times. Sid Heresy, we've already hit him up. Strager is online. Yeah, let's do Strager. Strager. Yeah. I think I've rated him already, so I want to kind of, Strager. There we go. All right. We're going to go raid Strager. Thanks everyone for coming out. Check out Strager. He does some good stuff. I think he's doing some software or some programming right now. So, Halcyon Kaiju, hello. Apologies for missing you on the stream bit over here on YouTube. I do need to figure out some way to monitor the YouTube stream chat as well. So, but thank you, Halcyonic Kaiju, for at least watching the stream while I was online. So, All right, everybody. Have a good rest of your day and take care, and I'll see you Friday.